On October the 11th, we mentioned Northamptonshire police employee Alex Foster, who had been charged with child sex offences. Back then, the 42-year-old was denying the charges, and a judge said at the time that he couldn't sentence Foster because he hadn't admitted his guilt to the probation service. Although I'm not quite sure how that works, to be honest. I know plenty of cases where people deny the charges, refuse to admit they're guilty, and still get charged regardless, or still get sentenced regardless. It seems that Foster denied the allegations, was going to be sentenced, and then decided to admit the charges that he had been trying to communicate with a child under the age of 15, and that for some reason prevented the judge from sentencing him at the time. During this time, Foster was remanded in prison after the recorder, James House KC, told Foster he would adjourn sentencing for a further report by the probation service to address his change of position. Foster wasn't a police constable. He worked as a support staff member as a police training officer for more than 20 years and allegedly had no previous convictions, and the offences were said to have occurred between July 26th and August the 11th this year. Well, Foster's sentencing day has now been held on Thursday the 17th of November, where he appeared at Lincoln Crown Court to be sentenced for 3 charges, being 1. Attempting to engage in sexual communication with a child he believed was age under 16. 2. Intentionally encouraging or assisting the commission of an offence by sending a request for an indecent image. And 3. Arranging or facilitating the commission of a child sex offence. Previously, the court heard how Foster began talking to a 15-year-old girl who was actually an undercover police constable on social media in July. When they began talking, the girl told Foster she would turn 16 the following month. Gurdial Singh, prosecuting, told the court that Foster was under no illusion about her age. Foster went on to ask the girl what she was comfortable with and what experiences she had with lads. He told the girl that he was 42 and was looking for someone to have sex with. The court heard that Foster also said he needed to be able to trust her, as she could be an undercover police officer. Over the course of 2 weeks, sexually explicit content was exchanged between the two parties. Foster also shared sexually explicit photographs. Mr. Singh told the court that a meeting had been arranged, but Foster wanted to cancel, but then changed his mind. Foster made the life-changing decision on August the 10th to attend the meeting and headed to a pre-arranged location in a car park of KFC in Newark, Lincolnshire, carrying condoms and lubricant. When arrested, he told police that they were items he always carried with him. Defending Foster, barrister Seward James Moore said, "The facts of this case are clear and they do not make for pleasant listening. He is of previous good character given his long service, and he is of low to medium risk of reconviction." Of course he had previous good character. Like that matters. That simply means he hadn't been caught sooner. He was a hard-working man, fell off the rails. It was out of character and aberrant behaviour, and not the making of the man. Sentencing Foster, recorder James House KC said, "You believed you were meeting a 15-year-old girl. Your intention was to have sexual intercourse. The activities that you intended is why this offence is so serious. You were in a position of trust because of working for Northamptonshire Police. That impacts the public perception." And with those remarks, House sentenced Foster to 2 years at His Majesty's pleasure. Not suspended. A 10-year spell under a sexual harm prevention order. Speaking after the sentencing, DI Kim Jackson from the Force's counter-corruption team said, "We are pleased with today's outcome, which reflects the gravity of these appalling offences and follows an investigation by the team which ultimately uncovered someone who was seeking to have sexual relations with a child. The sentence today reflects the seriousness of these offences and demonstrates how this force will stop at nothing to root out police officers and staff whose conduct falls below the line or, as in this case, is wholly criminal." Foster had already resigned from the force the day before his fast-track misconduct hearing last month, which found had he not resigned he would have been dismissed. His name is also now said to be being added to the College of Policing's corrupt cop list.